I love having a few ideas on hand for journaling for when I get too busy. I call this my color exploration journal, where I dedicate each page to a layout that is in honor of a particular color. One of the layouts that I do in here frequently is called grid journaling, which is basically positioning shapes of paper in a grid form. This type of layout is a great way to reuse old magazines. I always have a stack of those sitting around. Sometimes I sit and go through them and pull out pages that have interesting colors and patterns on them. I'll do this while I'm watching TV sometimes, and then I'll just keep them all in this box so they're all together. And then every once in a while, I'll start pulling out pages and pieces that have nice shapes and colors and pictures on them, and I'll start cutting things out to use in my journals. I have a paper punch that looks like a postage stamp that I love using for grid journals, but you definitely don't need to have this. You could just cut out little squares or even circles or whatever kind of shape that you like to use on your layout. Just a little tip that if you come across a page like this that has one color family and a few different patterns on the same page, it's kind of a gold mine page because you can cut a lot of little shapes out of that page and use it in a really nice layout. And that's still not the end of the life cycle of my magazines, because I'll just put all the pages back in this box for another purpose later on. And then once I have a nice little pile of shapes in the same color family, I'm ready to go and get started with my page. I use the same journal for this purpose, and I already know that I need 24 little stamp shapes to fill up a 2-page layout. I've seen people get really particular at this stage, and they'll draw out a grid using a ruler and a pencil so that they can place their shapes perfectly on the page. But I really don't do things that way, so I just kind of eyeball it. And once I made one of these a few times, I know basically where the shapes need to be placed. Now, obviously, I've edited this next part of the video, otherwise you would be sitting and watching me stick down 24 little stamps onto my paper. But when I actually made this video, I timed it at just under 4 minutes from the start of gluing down these little shapes. So with some advanced prep and having my stuff organized, having the little shapes already punched out in a little pile, I was able to just do this page in 5 minutes. So I'm just saying this as another example of something that you can do quite quickly and end up with something really pretty. And it's also just giving you a chance to have some creative time in your busy day. So here we are. I'm almost at the end of making my page here. I've got just a few little squares to glue down. And at this point, we can really see how all of this came together to create a nice layout on our pages. I find this to be almost a meditative practice, making these pages in my journal. I hope you feel inspired, and I hope you'll consider making grid journaling a part of your practice as you journal your world.